Now, I understand people willing to have people meet consequences for going against the rules, or the guidelines, or the politics, or the authority, the big homies, the program. I understand that, right? But this is one thing that I have to really like express. It's like, how can we seek peace and end up in beef anyway? How can we seek peace and end up in war anyway? Whether it's the older guy, excuse me, whether it's the older guys, the OGs, and they pushing the line, and that leads to some level of violence against those that's going against the new wave of peace, or it's the young dudes or any other age that's not for peace, and they feel like they want to take a stance and cause harms to everybody else that's for peace, just because they feel like what they stand for and how they feel is disrespected. It feel like they people that they care for and such and all that, they don't matter no more. So we have to look for a new solution. I understand all of it. I understand it from both perspectives. That's why I'm able to deliver it the way I'm delivering it. But at the same time, I feel like we definitely have to come up with some type of solution to these problems, because it's not going to be really, it's not beneficial at the end of the day. And it's going to become a waste of time. And what I mean by it being a waste of time is that you can't be making peace with some dudes that's from around the corner, across the street, down the street, and only end up beefing with the individuals that you grew up with, that share your hood, share your community, people that you've been locked in with forever, just behind this, this thin line right here, this new politic on the table based upon peace or not. What is that accomplishing at the end of the day? And the same thing for those that's seeking for beef. At the end of the day, why would you want to use all that energy that you have to cause harm to your homies that you so-called love and care for, just so you can prove your point of how much serious you is about beef, when you could just go use that energy against your so-called real ops? And if you was going that route, then guess what? People will possibly, really be respecting it and getting it and understanding it, and be like, you know what? We ain't gonna even trip. But if you're not really beefing with these so-called ops, then people gonna feel the obligation and feel like, you know what? It ain't no gun smoke in the sky. Maybe it's a possibility. Let's get up out this gray area. And the gray area is, it's not necessarily peace and cool, but it's not necessarily active. So people be trying to, get up out that gray area. And, also build the relationships. First you get a ceasefire. First off, you get a conversation. You get a conversation, you get a ceasefire, and then you get to, an agreement, a peace treaty, or however it worked. And then from there, you can start acquiring, establishing relationships. Obviously, it's relationships anyway from the beginning. That's how I was able to come to a solution. But at the end of the day, it just becomes more and more and more, for the future. But at the end of the day, I'm really asking, because I really don't have a solution. I feel like the only way that it would make sense is trying to express ourselves and explain things to the best way we can, and get people to understand where we're coming from. And then maybe we can seek peace without having to roll over into some new wave of beef. You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I really don't see that being a accomplishment. To just start beefing with those that you in your internal, in your home, in your hood, your homies, to do that, and just to have peace with some other guys that's down the street, around the corner, whatever the case may be, right? What would it necessarily mean? What would that actually accomplish? Yeah, it'd be the principle. Yeah, it'd be the pride and the ego. If we say this is the rules, then you should follow the rules. So obviously, I understand it's gonna be more to it. It's gonna be like, yeah, we did that because they was going against the orders. It wouldn't necessarily be like, yeah, we did that to them because we were sympathizing or we were siding up with some dudes that's from another place. No, it wouldn't necessarily be that. But that still will fit the script. That will still fit in that same narrative. You know what I mean? And the same thing again for the dudes that's for beef. You're going to sit there, you're going to end up hurting somebody because you're going to be disrespecting them. You talking about this, that, and the third, and it don't mean, you just not for people acting like you and your campaign don't matter. And you're going to cause all that damage when you could just go use that energy against your so-called ops. But I mean, at the end of the day, I done said enough. I feel like everybody get where I'm coming from, but we need to work on this solution. If it can be a solution, who knows?